And we're back, and the players have taken the court here. Both players, it's tough to talk about their game style because, like you said, we don't know much about Kyle. But Rocky, obviously a very consistent player. He's coming off a great season. What do you call here?
Well, Rocky's got a great all-around game. He's got a good control game. He can bring power if he needs to. So Rocky can do it all. I think he's going to come out very relaxed, nice and controlled. Very curious to see how Kyle handles the moment because this is clearly the biggest moment of his career.
Right, it's obvious that he's not intimidated against these big players, the higher-ranked players. He has basically, I don't know, surprised the world with these 2 wins in these last couple weeks. So we'll have to see what happens here. We're getting started. Well, Kyle wins the toss and comes out smoking on the first one. Obviously, Rocky missed the first shot.
Skip, and if I was Rocky, I wouldn't be giving up a lot of free points here. I would make Kyle work for every point. He's got to be a little tight. I know he's had some good wins, but this is the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open. If I'm Rocky, I make Kyle hit shots from the start.
We'll see what kind of serve he comes up with here to Rocky to start off this match.
Lob Z to the backhand. Kyle steps back, goes to the ceiling. Set up for Rocky.
Oh, bam.
Kills it with a pinch, and Kyle's going to have to do more with that serve. Rocky just did a very basic lob serve there. Kyle stood back, went to the ceiling, left the ceiling ball short, and Rocky just hit a very basic pinch for a winner. He's going to have to make Rocky work harder than that. Flick to the ceiling by Rocky, set up by Kyle. Flick up again by Rocky. Missed shot there by Kyle. Back wall set up for Rocky.
Oh, Rocky puts it down in the right corner.
You know, Kyle played a good point there, hit a couple of good shots down the backhand, forced Rocky to flick to the ceiling, left his pinch up, and that's really what killed him, let Rocky get back in the rally. Kyle really controlled most of that rally.
Rocky definitely looks like he's got enough confidence here. He's not concerned, really. He's already shooting, mixing up the serves. That's a skip. And Aaron, I got to ask you, is there a serve pattern that Rocky should be looking for? Is there something that would make a difference at this point?
Rocky looks like he's made a commitment to hit Z's to Kyle's backhand, and he's mixed it up with some hard Z's with the forehand and then lob Z's with the backhand. And until Kyle comes up and cuts that off, I think Rocky's going to stick with it. Rocky looks very comfortable letting Kyle shoot from the back of the court. And right now, Rocky's in total control. Kyle does not look like he's got a game plan for Rocky. Rocky looks very, very comfortable putting the serve deep to Kyle's backhand, bringing it into play, and then controlling the rallies. And right now, each rally, other than maybe one, Kyle is just not getting in it.
Yeah, Rocky's sticking with that lob serve.
And there's a clear difference I can see in the movement. Rocky's hit several pin shots that were gettable that Kyle didn't get to, and every pin shot Kyle's hit, Rocky's gone up and covered and either re-killed or put the ball back in play.
Rocky Carson, truly a great athlete, has been playing this game for quite a while now. He dominated in the juniors, and now he's coming into this match with a ton more experience.
Yeah, and that's a great shot Kyle just hit. But he can't stay back on that serve and expect to kill that consistently. He's playing right into Rocky's game plan. Rocky wants him shooting the ball from the deep backhand corner, and that's exactly what Kyle's doing. And look where Rocky is striking Kyle's serve.
That was a good shot there.
Good re-kill by Kyle, but Rocky is coming up, cutting Kyle's serve off at the 5-foot line and striking it much further forward in the court, which is putting a lot more pressure on Kyle than Kyle's putting on Rocky.
There's a setup, and then instead of letting the ball drop, Rocky took it overhead and still put it down. It looks like he's even toying around with some different things and mixing it up. He can afford to do that, it looks like, because he's taking the offensive role here today.
Yeah, and a subtle distinction is Rocky's serve is much more difficult to cut off than Kyle's. Rocky is hitting a serve where he's varying the angle, varying the heights, and that's one of the reasons Kyle is frozen in the backcourt, where Kyle is hitting a much easier lob serve to step up and cut off. so far, what you would expect, Rocky dominating, Kyle a little bit tight. Let's see, we're going to take a little break here, and we'll see when we come back if Kyle's able to work his way into this game.
It's the 2004 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championship. And we're back here at the first quarterfinal match in a series of 9 on the Tennis Channel.
Once again, you see Rocky cutting off that serve, able to put pressure on Kyle right from the start, and Kyle's on the defensive now. I think we'll see a good contrast here, the difference in the tempo of the rally, because Kyle is staying back on Rocky's serve. So let's see what Kyle does if he continues to wait and strike that ball from the back part of the court. There he is again, way back, defensive return. Rocky sets up, and look how he's got Kyle on the defense from the first shot on and winds up winning the rally.
Absolutely. Rocky seems to be just having his way with this situation. He's able to shoot, get, just basically do everything.
And really at this level, and this is a new level for Kyle, so he'll learn, you cannot be as predictable as he's being now. Rocky has too much confidence that if he hits that serve, Kyle's going to be stuck in the back of the court. And there you see another setup for Rocky, all off the serve and return a serve. Missed shot there by Rocky. Good get. Set up for Kyle. Good get by Rocky. Cut off. Set up for Kyle off the back wall.
That's a good shot by Kyle Veenstra. And the crowd loves him here. I think they want to see this Cinderella story take it to the next level.
Yeah, they want to see Kyle, and probably most importantly, they want to see a lot of racquetball. And I think they recognize that if Rocky gets a big lead, this match can go a little quicker than they want. And Kyle, you can tell he's playing it smart. He's still tight. He's still not relaxed. And there you see again, Rocky cutting that serve off. And it's been such a stark contrast this match so far. It's early on, Sean, but Rocky has contacted almost every one of Kyle's serve at the 5-foot line, and Kyle has contacted almost every one of Rocky's serves in the back of the court. There's another one where he hits it to the ceiling, set up for Rocky, kill. Very, very fundamental. Great shots by Rocky, but Kyle's got to put more pressure on him. He just can't stand in the back of the court and either flick that to the ceiling or force a shot from over his shoulder.
Aaron, you said earlier that Kyle didn't come into this match with a game plan, and that was pretty evident by what we're seeing so far. His serves, it doesn't seem like he's got any kind of plan when he goes up there, no pattern.
That's a good observation. The game plan starts with serve and return a serve. And I don't think Kyle has thought through either one of those, because this is Rocky's most common service game, where he goes over to the left wall and hits Z-serve, and Kyle clearly has not thought about how he's going to respond. That's the first one he went to cut off, and he skipped it. Conversely, on his serve, he's letting Rocky cut off all of his lobs. So it's a good observation. The game plan starts with how you're going to handle the serve and the return of serve. Once again, nice lob serve by Rocky, and Kyle just standing from 38 feet, shooting the ball from shoulder height, giving Rocky a setup. And Kyle, a little concerned here, seeing some very negative body language, and we're only in the first game.
Yeah, we're already at the game point of game 1 here.
And there's a ceiling ball off the back wall.
Wow.
Skipped by Rocky. I hate to say it because we're in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open, but Rocky looks a little bit bored.
That's interesting. Now looks like Kyle is going to take a more aggressive role. Does he go for a Z? That's a good serve.
A little better serve. Mixed it up a little bit. Stuck with a Z serve. Hit it with a little bit more pace, though. Got it into the back corner and prevented Rocky from cutting the ball off by the 5-foot line.
It's like Kyle's going to try another. And gets another point there. Looks like he puts a little heat on it. That might be the best way to go after Rocky at this point. I don't know. He's not going to.
Well, I think it's a good game plan. I wish Kyle had started off like this. I think you're better off when you're an underdog and you're a little bit tight, coming out aggressive, drive serving, really forcing yourself into the match. And I'm glad we're seeing Kyle doing that now. I think this game might have slipped away from him, but maybe it'll be a good thing for game 2. There you see again, Rocky making the adjustment. Kyle hit that same hard Z serve to the forehand, but that time Rocky stepped up, cut it off before it got into the third wall and was able to hit a passing shot. Flicks it up on the defense. First game, Rocky.
And we're back here at the first quarterfinal match here in a series of 9 on the Tennis Channel. It's the 2004 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. We're starting game 2. Rocky basically dominating in that first game. Kyle not showing really much of how he got here.
Yeah,
would you say?
bad start for Kyle. He looked like a deer in the headlights, and I guess most concerning, Sean, he didn't play with a lot of energy. So he's really going to have to come out here, do something, get a little more enthusiastic, and force his way into this match.
Well, let's see if Kyle can dig deep here. Rocky's serving in game 2, 0-0.
And you can hear the crowd trying to get behind Kyle because they know that if it's a blowout, they're going to have to sit and wait for the next match to start. So they at least want Kyle to extend it to a 4th or a 5th game.
Rocky sticking with that same serve. It looks like Aaron hasn't really been forced to do anything else, huh?
No, good get there. A little better start here for Kyle. He made a move at cutting that off.
Shot.
Aggressive return to serve. He went to cut it off and then backed off but shot the ball. And then he stayed on the offense after that rally. So we'll see if he's picked up a little more energy, is prepared to play a little more aggressively. There's that lob serve again. Keeps Rocky from cutting it off, forcing him to the backcourt. Now that's a great shot. Kyle did not hit a bad serve. He forced it into the side wall to prevent Rocky from cutting it off. It barely came off the back wall, and Rocky just buried that backhand pinch.
So even when Kyle has a great serve, he still finds himself in a tough situation as Rocky has the ability to still put that ball down.
And there's a skip. And there's a good example of, they both hit equal serves to start. They both got a very tight serve deep off the back wall. Rocky was able to kill his, and Kyle skipped his. There's a good cutoff by Kyle. Put a little pressure on him.
Good shot there by Kyle.
Now, once again, Sean, we talked a lot about this the first game. All set up by Kyle's return to serve. He came up, cut off that serve before it got into the side wall. We'll see if Rocky makes an adjustment next time he serves to prevent Kyle from cutting it off.
Looks like Kyle's going back to that drive Z, and he's been successful. It looks like 90% of the time with that serve there.
Yeah, if any serve that he can prevent Rocky from striking the ball at that 5-foot line, he's had some success with. He just has not consistently kept Rocky in the back of the court. And there's another one. Once again, Rocky hit a good shot there, but at least Kyle forced Rocky to hit a shot from the back of the court. So much of that first game, Rocky was able to dominate from being up in the front or the center of the court.
He hits that drive.
And
there's an opportunity here for Kyle to put it down.
Nice sequence here for Kyle. He's in control of the rally.
Great shot in the left corner.
And Sean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but Kyle cut off that first serve, so he forced Rocky to adjust his serve. Rocky went to a drive serve, drive Z for the first time. He missed it a little bit, and Kyle was able to attack. So just by cutting off that first serve, he's kind of changed the complexion of the match.
Just goes to show you how important it is to set the precedence, whether you're serving or returning.
Yeah, the game, it's very difficult to formulate a game plan that doesn't start first with your serve and return a serve.
Nice shot in the left corner. He's got that left corner down, and the backhand seems to be a good, obviously good enough to get him to this point. I don't know if he can put anything else together, but looks to me like he's hit a couple great backhands in that left corner.
There's Rocky cutting it off again, forcing Kyle to go to the ceiling. Forced the shot there. Oh, not a good choice by Kyle.
Got away with that one, it looked like.
Yeah, kind of a break. He did not hit a smart shot there. That pinch was not the right choice, and Rocky didn't do much with it. He knocked it off the back wall, and then Kyle put it away. And we'll see. Kyle's working his way into the match. He clearly looks a little more confident and playing with a little more energy than he played that first game.
Now it goes out of the court. Can you tell me the rule?
Yeah, this is a unique court since it's the portable court that they only use at this tournament. It is open in the back part of the court. The rule is if it hits the floor first and bounces out, it's a play over. And if the ball goes out before it hits the floor, then it's a loss of point for the player who hit it outside the court.
We'll see what Kyle comes up with here for a serve to get this rally started here.
Great shot there by Rocky. Not a good serve. Serve came way off the back wall, gave Rocky plenty of time and plenty of room to stroke it.
Well, Rocky's still in control here in this first quarterfinal match. We'll be right back. Take a little break here, and it's the 2004 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. Here we go, game 2. Rocky gonna serve. It looks like he's gonna stick with that same one.
And Rocky is very comfortable. The last several times I've seen Rocky play, that is his favorite place to serve from. He's got a variety of angles and speeds and heights that he can hit that serve with, and I think you'll see him staying on that left wall to serve until Kyle forces him away. There's a good shot by Kyle, forehand pinch. If Rocky's got a weakness, which Kyle could exploit, and I've seen other players exploit, that if you drive the ball down Rocky's backhand side, he does flick to the ceiling a lot and give you an opportunity to kill the ball. It was a good cutoff by Rocky, and once again, that serve didn't have a lot of variety to it, was very predictable, and allowed Rocky very calmly, very confidently to just step up, strike it right about the 5-foot line, and put Kyle on the defense.
Now Rocky with that style going to the ceiling, is it, would you compare it to Jason Menino? See, Jason, it seems when we watched him, that he's got a way of still retrieving the ball and still putting his opponent in an awkward position to hit a ball.
It's a great distinction. And here you'll hear the crowd booing, and they're booing just because they're hoping. That ball clearly skipped. Kyle hit an overhead. It clearly skipped. Looked bad, sounded bad. And a skip, Sean, just so everybody, all the viewers know, is a ball that hits the floor before the front wall. That one hit right up by the front wall but caught the floor just a little bit before the front wall.
And you got to admit, it's very, very tough to see that from an officiating standpoint, from television, from the crowd. It's very, very tough to see whether or not a ball skips or if it's a good shot, especially when it's traveling at such speeds.
Yeah, and one thing they've done very smart this year that they have not done in the past, they've moved the position of the referee, and it gives him a much better angle to see that.
Kyle getting into a rally here with Rocky.
Yeah, once again, he started this off a little bit better by cutting off the lob serve.
Yeah, it's trouble.
You know, he does not have a lot to offer Rocky. Rocky moves better. He hits a little harder. He's got a little bit of variety of shots. He mixes up his serves better. So I don't want to state the obvious here, but Rocky's a better player, and Kyle is going to really need some, I don't know, act of God, but something tremendous to pull him through here.
That's a great shot, though, by Kyle Veenstra. He's just got to have more of them, I guess.
Sean, that could be the understatement. If he just hits more great shots, he's going to do better.
He's going to go back to that drive.
Which I like. He needs to be aggressive. He cannot hit lob serves and expect to beat Rocky in that game. That's a well-played point. That was Kyle's best point. Started off a little more aggressive serve, hit that backhand down the line, forced Rocky to flick back into play, and then killed the forehand. He's got to stay aggressive. Even if Kyle's natural game is not to be aggressive, he's got to force himself to be aggressive against Rocky.
See, and you said you have not seen Kyle before. And I was lucky to see him play Alvaro yesterday, so I kind of got a brief understanding of how he got to this level. He was playing very aggressively. He was extremely confident in that last rally that we saw there where he just took the aggressor role and took a great shot down that right side. That's the reason why I think he's standing here right now.
He's gonna have to sustain it, and you know, we talked a little bit about this before the match. He's had some great wins. He's beaten Alvaro, he's beaten Jason, but how he handled the moment, and the moment being quarterfinals of the U.S. Open, was going to be a critical test for him.
Right, he definitely doesn't look like the same player that I saw yesterday.
And there's a ceiling ball that's coming off the back wall and killed there. And it doesn't look like that bad a miss, and it may be subtle to the person watching at home, but at this level, you just can't knock a ceiling ball off the back wall and expect to stay in the rally. You've got to be much more precise with that ceiling ball, force your opponent to hit it from above their chest, where when it hits the back wall, it comes into their hitting zone.
Somehow Rocky finds a way to win these rallies. Every time there's a long rally, it seems to me like Rocky still comes out on top.
Yeah, and Kyle, you know, is in this game clearly playing with a little more enthusiasm, a little more confidence, but he's already starting to drop his chin, bad body language, which is not a good sign for him.
Two great backhands in that left corner. I've said it a couple times now, Aaron. He's got a backhand.
Yeah, and he's got nice strokes, and he's hit some good shots. You know, where he is struggling is sustaining it and the consistency that it takes to win at this level.
Right, just needs to happen more often. There it is.
Once again, better serve, forces Rocky to go to the ceiling. There's his back wall shot. Should have put that away and puts the next shot away. But, you know, once again, that's a much better rally for Kyle. He hit a more aggressive serve. He forced Rocky to hit his first shot from deep in the court. When we come back, we'll see if Kyle's able to sustain this and continue to put some pressure on Rocky.
So we'll be right back in this first quarterfinal match with Rocky and Kyle Veenstra. And we're back. It's a much closer match here. Kyle Veenstra 4, serving to Rocky Carson with 6. Aaron, up to this point, we've talked about how Kyle needs to play an aggressive role here. It seems to me like he's been much more successful when he's hit a harder serve as opposed to a lob. It seems to me like whether or not it's a good lob or a half lob, Rocky still finds a way to put that ball down.
I don't know which serve Kyle's more comfortable with. As my sense is he's more comfortable with a straight lob, but he's got to continue to hit the drive Z or the drive just to put a little bit of pressure. There he missed it. Gave Rocky a setup, but that's okay. That's the risk of playing a little more aggressive. You're going to make more errors, but I don't think Kyle has any choice but to continue to play aggressive, continue to hit drive serves and Z serves, something to put pressure on Rocky. Once again, ceiling ball comes off the back wall, and that's a bad miss because Kyle got kind of a break. His ceiling ball came off the back wall, but got pinned against the side wall. So Rocky didn't do much with it, gave Kyle a setup in the center of the court, and Kyle stood straight up and missed that reverse pinch into the right corner.
Rocky has not left that position of the serving box since we started this match.
Yeah, he is playing, even when he's returning serve, he's controlling the game. And when he's serving, he's just hitting the serve, stepping back into the center of court, and more often than not, getting a setup in the center of court.
Let's take a look at that effort there by Kyle. He completely extended and tried to reach out there and grab that off the back wall.
Yeah, and you know he didn't get it, but he's got to get that. It was not a great shot Rocky hit. It was a good shot, but a shot that at this level has to come back and play. And once again, 9-4. Bad body language for Kyle. Head down, looks discouraged. Looks like he might be thinking about the party tonight at the racket court.
That's right. And Rocky looks to me like the same as he did in the interview before this match. He just is very, very confident, very calm, relaxed.
Hey, Rocky's the number 4 player in the world. He's here to win a championship. And quite frankly, it looks to me like Kyle thinks his tournament's over. Making it to the quarters was a tremendous accomplishment for him. He looks a little worn out mentally and a little worn out physically, and Rocky's very, very fresh, thinking about winning his first U.S. Open championship.
Rocky finishes game 2 and takes a commanding lead, 2-0. So we'll be back for the third game of this first quarterfinal match. It's the 2004 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championship. Okay, we're back.
Well, Sean, this is about the only 11-4 match I've seen where it's not as close as the score indicates.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't look like there's much of a battle going on here.
No, Rocky is on absolute cruise control. Kyle has got a little bit of a deer in the headlights look and has not really shown but a couple of instances where he looks like he's going to work his way out of it.
Nice get by Rocky. And Kyle puts it down with that backhand in the left corner. Let's take a look at that get.
It was a great shot there by Kyle. He had a good cross-court passing shot. Rocky made a great diving get to keep it alive, and then Kyle put it away. Here he's going back to that lob serve. Good shot there by Kyle. Once again, a good lob serve. Forced Rocky to the back of the court. Rocky left it in the center, and Kyle hit a nice basic down the line to end the rally.
I think he got away with something. I don't think it's smart. I'm basing all this, bless you, on basing this on what you said earlier in regards to the drive serve. Nice get, though. Nice get. Sticking with a lob serve, I think, is such a low percentage situation. He has not prevailed in any of these rallies with these lob serves. It seems like the majority of his points have been scored when he hits a drive.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. It's a good observation, and I'm not sure what Kyle is thinking. But his lob serve, I think, is what he's most comfortable with, and he's decided at this point to just go with what he's most comfortable with.
That right there is a good example. He hits that lob serve, and that happened to be a huge setup, and Rocky puts it down on a cross-court pass.
Ceiling ball by Kyle. Off the back wall.
Skip ball.
Yeah, sloppy footwork there by Kyle. Rocky gave Kyle a setup off the back wall. Kyle didn't move his feet at all, wound up reaching back for what should have been a relatively easy shot and skipping it nowhere near the front wall.
Rocky going back to that same position.
Yeah, Kyle just cannot let that ball get into the back of the court like that.
That's just ridiculous. That's a great shot by Rocky.
It's a great shot by Rocky. Too routine. Kyle has got to put more pressure on him. You cannot, at this level, let a guy hit a lob serve, hit a short ceiling ball, and let him get a shot at 2/3 court on the third shot of the rally. 2-2 Rocky. Came back from 2-0. Ceiling ball rally. Once again, a missed ceiling ball by Kyle. Set up for Rocky. And, Kyle, where he's getting in a lot of trouble here is he doesn't have a great power game. He doesn't cut off lobs. And what you've got to have, if you don't have either of those, you got to have a very accurate ceiling ball game. And right now, Kyle is not showing us a very accurate ceiling ball game. He's giving Rocky a lot of setups off that ceiling. And there's, I think, the first time we've seen, we're in the third game here at 3-2, and I think that's the first time we've seen Kyle cut off that serve and put it away. So maybe he's starting to click in his mind that he needs to get more aggressive on his return to serve.
You see, now he's lined up to hit a drive serve. Falls a little short, right into the wheelhouse of Rocky.
Yeah, and once again, he's got to, I think, go for that. It clearly doesn't look confident in it, and he's not executing it consistently, but I don't think he's got any choice but to push the envelope a little bit, try and put some pressure on Rocky. And there's that flick by Rocky, set up for Kyle. Another flick by Rocky, set up for Kyle.
Yep. Rocky's got some gets there, but looks to me like Kyle had the advantage, at least in that rally.
Yeah, that was a good rally. He kept forcing the ball down the lines, forcing Rocky to flick up, and when you force somebody to flick on the defense like that, eventually you're going to get a very offensive opportunity.
Kyle lost his confidence after that last drive serve, so he went back to the lob.
Back wall set up for Kyle. Another good shot set up for Kyle.
Wow, great shot. The crowd loves it here. Let's take a look at how Kyle put that whole rally together. It looked like he was the offensive guy in that one. He definitely hit some great shots. And then as you can see here, he hit a nice way to finish the rally off that sidewall.
Yeah, ended it with a great forehand splat. And we'll see. Kyle's in this game. It's 3-3. He flirted a little bit in the second game at the beginning with getting in it. We'll see if he's able to sustain it. That's really the most important thing. Can he sustain the level of play? And that's a great shot by Rocky. Kyle did not hit a bad shot. He jammed Rocky with that backhand down the line.
We're all tied up at 3-3 in Game 3. Let's see if Kyle Veenstra can put something together here with Rocky Carson at the quarterfinal match of the U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. And we're back, Aaron. It's all tied up at threes. Rocky Carson serving. What do you think here? Do you think Kyle's got a chance?
Well, this is the best he's looked. He had a little bit of glimmer at the beginning of the second game, but this is clearly the best 3 or 4 point sequence he's had. So, Sean, I am going to describe it as I'm cautiously optimistic for Kyle.
cautiously optimistic. I like that. Rocky still serving from the same location, probably that half lob Z, which we
good cutoff and a great re-kill there. You know, even though that was a great shot by Rocky and he put it away, I like the play better by Kyle. He went and cut it off. He put a little pressure on Rocky. He's going to have to do that. You're not going to win every point, but he's got no chance if he just stays in the back of the court and tries to shoot the ball. Like that. Here's a setup for Rocky.
Wow.
Kill shot. And, you know, that's...
Look at the way Rocky lines up for that. He sets his feet and just shoots and just hammers the ball down that left side.
Yeah, and that's where he's number 4 player in the world. He's got power. He's got control. And there, you saw a little bit of both. He's hitting more of a control-type serve, but then when he got that setup, he ran around the ceiling ball and just hammered that forehand for a kill shot.
What is it that separates Rocky from the other 3 top players in the world?
Yeah, it's a great question. A couple of things, I think. One, even though he's improved a tremendous amount in this area, I still don't think he's as mentally tough as the top 3 guys. And the other thing is he is not as good in the front court. He does have a tendency to play more defensive in the front court when all the other top guys have an ability to re-kill the ball when they're on the defense. When Rocky's on the defense, he moves great, but he doesn't penalize you. He keeps putting the ball back in play. So I think those are the 2 things that if I was Rocky's coach and trying to help him get from number 4 to number 1, got to get a little mentally tougher and work on his front court game.
Looks like Rocky taking a big lead now. As you said, you don't want Rocky to start running away with this.
Yeah,
you're going to lose control. It's now 8-3.
Yeah, if the fat lady is not already singing, Sean, she is certainly warming up her vocal cords here.
8 serves 3, Rocky. 8 serves 3, Rocky lining up now, changing the serve a little bit. Waits till game 3 to start messing around a little.
Good shot there by Kyle. And we are clearly, for Kyle, we are in last dance, last chance territory. He's going to have to do something remarkable, mix it up, hit some great shots, hope for a lapse by Rocky, something out of the ordinary. Good serve there, force Rocky to go to the ceiling. You know, Kyle's got a nice game, nice setup. When he gets his feet set, he shoots the ball well. But against a player of Rocky's level, you just can't wait for the guy to set you up. You have to be able to create your own offense, and that's what Kyle has been unable to do, is consistently create offensive opportunities for himself.
It looks like what you had said earlier about not having a game plan. That is so evident at this point.
Yeah, and that's a great example. Kyle hit a great shot, a little bit lucky, but a great shot, and he thought it was going to be a winner because I don't think he's used to playing players of this level.
He gave up.
And he stopped, and
Right.
Rocky stepped up, covered it relatively easily, and put it away for a winner. There again, you see Kyle in the back of the court shooting away. Got kind of a break there because Rocky covered his pinch relatively easily, left up his re-kill, and Kyle was able to re-kill that backhand. So kind of a break there from Kyle. Let's see if he can get something going. It's 4-8.
I really would like to see a run here by Kyle. I don't think he's going to do it with this lob serve.
Good shot. Set up for Kyle. Missed it. Another opportunity.
Wow. He looked like he slipped there on
Yeah, and Kyle may come up with a new game plan there. He looked like he slipped on a wet spot and then still hit an unbelievable backhand pinch in that left corner.
Maybe off-balance shooting is what the name of the game is for Kyle.
You know, and Kyle is clearly a better player than he has shown us in this match. You don't make it to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open, so maybe he needs something like that shot, like the crowd getting into it, to give him enough energy to propel himself. And once you get on a 4 or 5 point run, if you get a game behind you, maybe we'll see the Kyle Veenstra that beat Alvaro Beltran last night.
Up to this point, really no confidence is evident from
there you see Kyle, once again, kind of a rookie mistake there. He's leaning forward, just assuming Rocky's going to splat the ball. At this level, you cannot commit that soon because a player like Rocky can hold that shot until the last second, as he did there, and drove it down the line rather than hit the splat that Kyle was waiting on. Back of the court, defensive shot. Well, that's a good break there for Kyle. He once again stayed back on the serve, gave Rocky a setup in the center of the court. Rocky hit a forehand pinch that was just up enough for Jason Thorner, the referee, to give Kyle the hinder. And this is a point where Kyle's going to have to side him out. He can't afford to let Rocky get up to 9 or 10.
Oh, wow, it's a great get. How about the hands of Rocky Carson?
Yeah, great hands there, and a good example. We had just talked about how Kyle had overcommitted. There you see how Rocky did such a nice job holding his position, even though Kyle had a setup in the front of the court. Rocky didn't overcommit, waited for Kyle to take a shot, and was able to react to it and flick a winner past Kyle.
And this one almost coming to a close here. Game 3 of our first quarterfinal match at the U.S. Open on the Tennis Channel. And we're back. Looks like this match is coming to a close here.
Yeah, it's 8-5. He's still in it. 9-5. He has not shown us a lot of spunk yet. Clearly needs to do something now.
I would say now is definitely the time.
Yeah, I think I may have stated the obvious there, Sean. Here we are at match point.
Here we are, yes. The crowd loves this kid. He's a good guy. Just got married in October to a beautiful wife named Katie in Wausau, Wisconsin. And, you know, he's played this tournament a couple times and has never won a pro match. I got to say, for Kyle Veenstra, it's been a great showing.
Oh, my God, skipped it. And, you know, that would have been a good one to end it on because it was very typical of how the match was played. Rocky hit a serve. Kyle didn't cut it off, gave him a setup in the front court, and this time Rocky skipped it. But needless to say, he's not skipped many of those this match.
Yeah, it certainly would take a miracle now, I would think, for Kyle to come out and win this game and be in this match at any point.
Yeah, and there's an odd shot there by Kyle. Rocky did not hit a great shot. I think once again Kyle overcommitted. Must have thought Rocky was going to splatter pinch the ball and got caught going forward because he got jammed on a shot that was in the center of the court.
So here's Rocky. Another opportunity to close out this match, and Kyle's still hanging on. You've got to give him some credit for that heart, just hanging on here at this last part of this match.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Sean, I think he is hanging on by a very thin and fragile thread.
Ooh. Rocky looking back to questioning the call. Looks like he hit him with his racket.
Yeah, and that's a tough call for the ref to make. That should have been a hinder. And Kyle, who can ill afford to be giving up points, gave up that call. Very gentlemanly. Not so sure I would have done the same.
And Rocky with now his third chance to close out this match. 10 serving 5. Rocky with the standard left side of the box. Probably going with that half lob Z to the backhand of Kyle.
Good get. Set up with the forehand. Oh, gets out.
Wow.
Lucky break there for Kyle. He made a great diving get. Hit a ball that looked like it was going to be a setup off the back wall. Somehow stayed pinned against the side wall, and Rocky skipped it with his forehand.
Okay, we're back at this quarterfinal match. Kyle Veenstra hanging on here. It's the 4th break that he's had. The 4th opportunity for him to get some points on the board. Kyle, I don't know, somehow hanging on here.
Yeah, has not been able to generate any offense, but we'll see. It's a strange game. The one thing about racquetball is there's no time clock. So set up there for Kyle. Good shot.
There it is.
And there's 6. And, you know, he's hanging in there. Rocky's missed a couple of shots. We'll see if Kyle can put together a run here. You know, give himself a shot at maybe sneaking out of the game, and then strange things can happen. But still a very long way to go for that, Sean. See on ball short. Here's a setup. Ooh.
Nice get. Get that. Oh, wow. I would have liked to seen him extend all the way across the court after that first get on the left.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity for Kyle. He had a dead setup with the forehand. Really did not do much with it. We'll see if Rocky will punish him for that mistake. Wow.
Can you believe this, Aaron? I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't look from a body language standpoint like he's doing anything different. He's just hanging in, hanging around, hitting some shots, and we'll see if he's able to get some points. He has not been able to back up stalling Rocky with points. There's a back wall shot. That is not something you see often at this level. That ball was off the back wall. Kyle had plenty of time to do something with it and hit a very awkward shot very deep into the side wall.
Okay, let's see if Rocky can bring this match to a close here with this last serve. And he does. Oh. What's your call?
Ooh, that looked like a good shot. And Kyle
gives it to him to play over.
Yeah, to play it over. It's awfully sportsmanlike of Kyle, something you don't see often on the IRT Tour.
Nice get.
Good get. Set up.
Another good get.
Back wall set up again.
And there it is. A great rally to finish this one off. Rocky Carson advances to the semifinal. Well, there you have it. Rocky advances to the semifinal. Really effortless.
Yeah, Sean, about what we would have expected. 11-4, 11-4, 11-6. Rocky in total control the whole match. Kyle had a few moments where he got into it, but really for the most part what you would expect when the number 4 player is playing the number 24 player in total control from start to finish.
Well, there you have it. That was our first quarterfinal match. Join us next week.